What's up, guys? The attendance tonight was 18,881. The gate was 15.9 million, the fourth highest gate in UFC history. The fight of the night was Swanson and Feely. If you were at the press conference, you know they talked me into two fight of the nights. We feel there weren't two fight of the nights, so we gave Talbot, Piper, Macy, and Pereira $50,000. Congratulations to them.
Dana, one of the most chaotic UFC events in history.
It's been a hell of a month, boys.
I guess talk to me now. I mean, obviously it ended with an exclamation point, but just getting over and through this event with everything that happened up until tonight, how are you feeling right now that's in the rear view?
I'm literally getting on a plane and going to my house in Maine, and I don't want to I'm turning my phone off. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. It's been challenging, but fun. You know, when you have guys like Diego, you know, the guys that were involved in the co-main event tonight are just absolute studs. And think about this. Diego gets the call. He's not going to wait. No problem. I'll take the fight. Right? That right there is already mentally challenging, you know. When you're on weight, you're going to do it, and you have to accept this fight. You know, we see it all the time. How many guys don't accept the fight and don't do it, right? Then he gets the call that he's out, and we want to put somebody else in, and he accepts the fight. And it's a completely different style than what he trained for. And he still takes the fight. The guy he was supposed to fight is ranked in the top 3. This guy's like one above him. I mean, the mental challenges that were thrown at this kid tonight. And then Dan Ige, I'm assuming had already ordered the fight and was ready to sit home and watch the fight tonight. And now he's in the co-main event. So you couldn't have two bigger studs than these two guys tonight. Incredible.
It's one of the most memorable things that's ever happened. They both got done and said, hey, we'd like to fight at the Sphere. Do you think that's something you can do for both those guys and put them on that card after what they did tonight?
I do. I'll do anything for these guys. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So that was a great story in the co-main, and then the main event, exclamation point there. I mean, Alex Pereira even more dominant than the first time around. I guess, what did you think of his performance tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he looked incredible. Fight started just like the last fight, chopping that calf kick, busting his leg up, and then, he got saved by the bell. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. It was incredible. I mean, that guy is a monster, absolute monster. And Yuri, again, we're talking about two guys who stepped up. Pretty sure both of these guys had nagging little injuries too, and didn't give a shit. Can't apply.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Alex Pereira at heavyweight is awfully intriguing. I know we got Jones and Stipe, we got Aspinall and Blades.
I'm standing up there with the belt and I had Joe Rogan in my ear the whole time we were up there. Let him fight heavyweight. Come on, just do it. So, I know that's what people want to see. We'll see how this whole thing plays out.
Is there any chance that he injects himself into Jones Stipe, for instance, or are you still committed to that?
Yeah, no, we're definitely committed to that. I mean, you know how I feel about John Jones, as far as where he sits in the pound-for-pound rankings and the all-time rankings. And then Stipe is, looked at as greatest heavyweight of all time, so they deserve that fight.
Last thing I want to ask you about, Michael Chandler was here this weekend. We talked to him. He said, listen, I'm still waiting around. I'm not letting him off the hook. What do you think? At this point, do you recommend Michael Chandler waits for Conor McGregor, or do you feel like it's time to throw some different names at him and get Michael Chandler back in the octagon?
I never recommend waiting. Time is not your friend in this business, but, Michael's been around for a long time. He's accomplished a lot of things. He's at that point in his career. Maybe that's what he wants to do. He's not a dumb guy. He's a smart kid, so whatever he wants to do.
Do you have any time updates on Conor, like how that hit the toes healing?
I'm not even talking about Conor until Conor's gone, ready to fight, and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. Aside from Conor, like the last time he fought, Alex Pereira and Diego Lopes weren't even on the UFC roster. So when you signed Alex and you had Diego kind of step in on short notice, did you know what you were getting with those guys? Because since then, they've become two of the most reliable and popular fighters on the entire roster.
It's incredible, right? I mean, no, I don't think like that, especially when you have a guy that's coming in from kickboxing, has this long kickboxing career and is older coming into the UFC. I think the exact opposite. This guy's not going to do very well here. Going to get taken down, smashed, submitted, all that kind of stuff. But man, was I wrong.
And I know you've had a lot of big free agent signings like Chandler, MVP, Kayla Harrison, but Alex Pereira has to be up there for just biggest free agent signings you've had in promotion history.
No doubt about it. Could not agree with you more.
What did you make of Ian Gary's?
How come there's how many helicopters have you seen in Las Vegas fucking ever, right? We do press conferences and it sounds like a fucking MASH unit here or something. This is insane.
What did you make of Ian Gary's performance against MVP?
Yeah, Sean and Mick felt that fight would play out exactly the way it did. We talked about leading up to this fight. I had that fight a draw. Yeah. I mean, if they came out and said that fight was a draw, that's exactly what I thought that fight was too. Obviously, Ian won the first round. MVP won the second round, and it was 50-50 in the third round. You know what I mean? What was crazy was MVP had that top position, and he gave it up. He could have just rode that thing out and won the round. He stood up and gave up that top position. This is fucking crazy. You have another question for me?
Yeah. Ian said that he wants to fight in Manchester and is willing to weigh in as a backup for the welterweight title fight. Is that something you'd be willing to entertain?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't think about that stuff until later.
And then just two last ones for you. Michelle Watterson announced retirement. You had the video package queued up. What did you just reflect on her career with you?
I love her. I love her family, and they're such awesome human beings. And it's always rough when you see, one of the longtime fighters and somebody that you truly care about. That's her last fight, and when they stood up at the end of the third round, both her eyes were swollen, and I say it all the time. This isn't a job. This is an opportunity. And time catches up with everybody in all the sports. And tonight was her night. So, you know, it's like a prank or something. This is so crazy. I love her family, and I wish her nothing but the best. I told her tonight this will always be her home. You know, if you ever want to come work out at the PI, you want to have lunch there, or you want to just use an office, whatever you want to do, it's always your home.
And the last one for me, a couple other veterans, Anthony Smith, Andre Arlovsky, Cub Swanson, came up short. What do you want for them in the ring? What are you going to do with them?
Yeah, this is Andre's last fight. I don't know what Cub's going to do. You know, obviously Smith is already, you know, a part of the team here and working here. I don't know, we'll see how it all plays out. But, you know, all people that we truly respect and care about. So we'll see what happens.
Dana, you guys posted the main event finish on your socials and on your UFC YouTube. What goes into that decision? Is it ESPN's call, or do you think, hey, this is a chance to take Alex to an even higher superstar status?
Yeah, anytime that you can, you know, when you have the sequence like we put out tonight,
You know, that's probably people leaving.
this is insane. This is literally crazy. But we talked to ESPN, and you know, listen, I said this a couple times when I first got into business with ESPN. You got to work out all the kinks and bugs and working with each other. We've done that, and I'm in a great place. I have a great relationship with ESPN, and you know, we work together to build the sport, build the brand, build their platform, and we really work well together now. So that's how that works.
It's a pretty good place going into negotiations for next year.
Is that what?
Means you guys are in a pretty good place going into negotiations.
I've already had all the headbutting I could have with ESPN to get to where we are now, to have this incredible relationship that we have. I can't say enough good things about the relationship that I have with ESPN right now. As far as the, you know, the rights deal coming up, that's it is what it is.
When you look at Alex, every time he wins, right, it almost makes the win Israel has over him more impressive. And that was an amazing rivalry for those two, but they're still 1-1. Do you think that's something we could revisit one day for a trilogy fight?
What's the question again? What did you say?
Do you think we could ever see Izzy versus Alex 3?
I mean, they're still at the top of their game. You know, I don't know. You could. Who wouldn't want to see the fight? I mean, they're great fights. But what it sounds like to me, not just Joe Rogan and everybody else, they wants to see him go to heavyweight. And when we were talking to him tonight, he doesn't give a shit. He said, I'll fight at heavyweight. I'll fight wherever you want, whenever you want. He's ready to turn around and wants to fight again right away. So he's that guy. He's a savage, man. The guy's an absolute stud. And not to mention the fact that he's a smart guy and realizes time isn't your friend in this game. And get in there, accomplish as many great things as you can. Like you guys were saying, whoever said it earlier, look at what a huge star he's become in such a short amount of time, because people in the fight business love guys who want to fight, love guys who want to finish, love guys who want to compete. As a fight fan, he's like the ideal fighter that you would follow and become a fan of.
Kind of going off that, you said $16 million gate. I know it was over 20 with Connor, but that's still not much of a drop off. I mean, does that speak to Alex's star power, the card as a whole? Would you kind of attribute not many people doing refunds?
Well, I think what happens is that we have built up this trust level with our fan base that they know when they show up that we're going to put on a good show. You know, and that was even with, you know, when the main event falls out, you're able to get refunds. So I think the thing was, you could have got like a 50% refund after the fight fell off, and people didn't do it. They came and, you know, and came in for International Fight Week. So yeah, I think it's a testament to the trust that we have built with our fan base.
Is Alex one of the more unique personalities you've seen? I mean, he's going to the airport to come to the fight, stopping and changing some random person's tires. He has the walkout, just all these different kind of unique elements to him.
Well, how about the fact that when we called him, he was on vacation in Australia, you know, touring around there, going to children's hospitals, training in different gyms, doing things with sponsors, and the guy jumps on a plane and says, yeah, I'll take the fight, and goes right into camp to train as much as he can. before the fight. He, like I said a second ago, he's the kind of fighter that fight fans fall in love with.
I think you kind of alluded to what your pound for pound rankings still look like. I know we talked about it in Jersey, but where does Alex fit in, and what do you think he would have to do if he goes to heavyweight and gets that third belt? Is he number one then?
You're not wrong. He's another guy that has moved up and is willing to move up to heavyweight. So for all those that don't know what the pound for pound means, that's what it means, guys like that. But still, as long as John Jones is still in the conversation and talking, John Jones has never lost. He's never lost a fight. And like I say, the most amazing thing about John Jones, you can say whatever you want about him, his lifestyle outside the octagon, it's not like this guy was, checking, had the greatest nutritionists and was, it's quite the opposite of what happened with John Jones outside the octagon, and he's never lost a fight.
Just lastly for me, I know Brian Ortega didn't end up fighting, but you had the situation in Saudi Arabia with Kelvin Gastelum where it was like close to weigh-ins. He had his opponent, have to move up a division. It's kind of similar with Brian. Is there anything you can do, like in these situations where it's, just before weigh-in and the fighter is informing their opponent that they're not going to make that weight class?
Yeah, it's one of the worst things that happens. And when you have two guys and one guy makes weight, and the other guys, it sucks. But it's also something that you're going to run into when you're asking people to come in on short notice fights. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough part of the business.
What do you do with Brian going forward? Is he going to be at 55? I know he told me that he was originally planning to lightweight debut at the Spear before this came out.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to see how he bounces back from this and let him recover, make sure he's okay before we even start talking about what's going to happen with him again.
And a couple back here.
Yep.
Yeah. First, it was recently announced that for Noche UFC, the UFC will have its first title partner, Riad season. What were some of the factors that compelled the UFC to do this?
I spent $17 million on production and it's not even September yet.
But just one more on that note. I know it's something you've traditionally been very much against, but what, if anything, could Riad season do to compel you to cross-promote? Obviously, there's that Francis Ngannou fight that you think is not going to happen, but is there anything Riad could do to maybe twist your arm on that?
Well, I actually respect Sheikh Turkey. He's a nice guy, and we have actually formed a relationship over the last couple of months. I respect what he's done with boxing, this is the only guy that could ever pull this off, making these big fights. And the fight was good. It was a good, entertaining fight. You didn't have guys that went in there and tried to avoid a fight so they could try to hopefully get to the next big payday. I think that what this guy's done in a short amount of time is pretty incredible. So we're obviously talking about lots of different options with this guy, and I respect him, I like him, so we'll see what the future holds.
Thank you.
Dana, over to your left over here.
Yeah.
What is your reticence, or has been your reticence, about Alex at heavyweight? Because you've never seemed to be into it, right? And even the way you described the story with Rogan, you don't seem to be into it. Why not?
It's not that I'm not into it. The guy was a middleweight, then moves up to light heavyweight. He's had a couple fights there, defended his title. It's not like this guy's been in the division for 2 years and, he ran through everybody that's in the division. It's like, come on, what's next? At least let him move to heavyweight. I think that when you think about this, like when those two squared up, not just him, Yuri too, when you see me standing in the middle of this guy, these guys are fucking monsters, man. They're big guys. Imagine that they were both middleweights at one time. It's insane. But they look good at light heavyweight. It's a whole nother level going up to heavyweight. I mean, even as big as John Jones is, as good as John Jones is, when John Jones was moving up to heavyweight, we're like, this is going to be interesting. It wasn't.
Don't you think, like, when you look at it, you go, Alex was 230 today. I saw his thing in the scale. He was 230. If he puts on 15 pounds, he's the same weight as John. And you're talking about perhaps the greatest single accomplishment in combat sports history, right? Doing what Alex would do if he does that. And you normally embrace those kind of big historic things, and this one you don't seem to have that same fervor for.
Not true. If he cleaned out a division and we were like, there's literally nobody left for this guy to fight, and he's 37. If he wants to move up to heavyweight, but that's not the case. And when you think about, you said he was 230 today, right? Chuck and Forrest Griffin used to walk around at 230, and they would cut down to 205. That's not big. Some of these heavyweights are 265, they're cutting to 265. It's just a whole nother level. I mean, that's why I think this is the problem with the conversation that we're having here and why people aren't giving John Jones the respect for pound. This fucking guy destroyed the best heavyweight in the division. Easily made it look like nothing. John Jones is the pound for pound best fighter in the world and the greatest fighter fucking ever. Period. End of story.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but he hasn't fought in a long time. But and Steve in a longer time.
He got hurt.
I get it. I'm not criticizing.
He was trying to fight.
I'm just saying, yeah. No,
Yeah, well, it's not like he's just fucking sitting around and doesn't want to fight. The guy came to fight. It's the first injury he's ever had. And listen to me, I'm not defending John Jones. You know what I mean? John Jones has been one of my biggest fucking headaches in the entire time that I've been in this company, right? And the guy hasn't been the model, fighter in the company. No matter what you think of John Jones, he's the fucking best ever, and he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He's the pound for pound best fighter in the world.
Well, except that he hasn't fought in the last year, so he's not.
Because he got hurt. He got injured.
But if you don't,
if you were coming into a fight and you fucking got hurt, that means you're not the pound for pound best fighter in the world anymore? How does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense.
When he fights,
like, if he was sitting out and fucking getting arrested and running around or whatever, and you're like, well, John Jones is inactive, I'd say, maybe you're right, but as an educated adult who knows the fight business, you cannot deny that while John Jones is active, he is the greatest fighter in the world.
Did I not say that?
Yes. I don't know what you're arguing about here. I don't even know how we're in this conversation. Where are the helicopters when you need them?
Just screaming and hollering. Well, let's change to a better topic then. I was outside talking to EJ when you walked in, so I didn't hear what you said about him. But what do you think he did for his career tonight, taking this fight and performing the way he did? Right, he had a guy that won his last two fights in a minute or less, and he performed extremely well, taking it on 3 hours' notice. What do you think he did for himself tonight?
He didn't lose. You can't lose when you come in like EJ came in and you do what he did. This is not a loss. He was supposed to fight on the 20th. I think we should keep him on the card on the 20th and let him still fight again. And I think what he did is he already had a tremendous amount of street cred, and it just went through the roof tonight. But when you give him that level of respect, you have to give it to Diego Lopes. That guy went through hell this week, having to find out that, okay, I'll fight at a higher weight. Now this guy is out, and now I got to fight somebody else that I didn't train for. Two totally different styles. He was coming in with a grappler striker. He's coming in with EJ, who is a big fucking puncher and doesn't want to go to the ground. So much respect to both those guys.
Over here.
Yep.
About a month ago, Roku released Fight Week, and which gave fans access to see what goes on behind the scenes and know a bit more about the war room. And they also got to see the crazy stuff that you guys go through that we may not have seen in first glance. What do you think an episode of UFC 303 would look like on Friday?
Yeah, no, this would have been a hell of an episode. Yeah, that's a one and done. We're never doing that again. It's disruptive at work, and it was fun to do one time, and I'm really happy with the response that it got, and so is Roku. But yeah,
Awesome.
would have been a hell of a show.
Awesome. And another big moment from tonight was Peyton Talbot and his performance inside 20 seconds. What did you make of that, and what do you think we'll see from him out in the future?
Yeah, great fight for him. Good test for him too. This was supposed to be like a big test for him. That's why we did, if you don't know, with this fight, and we know now. That kid looked badass tonight. He is awesome, and I look forward to seeing this kid grow and what's next for him.
For sure. And a lot of people are talking about Brian Ortega's fight week attitude and how he approached the media and a lot of things this week.
What happened? I don't know anything about
it.
It
was just kind of like more bland than usual. I mean,
no, listen, I told the matchmakers yesterday, he was acting very strange during the weigh-ins yesterday, and yeah, it was definitely, he was definitely off. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if he has personal problems. I don't know if he probably started cutting weight, trying to get down to weight early and probably didn't feel great, or whatever the thing was. There was definitely, I don't disagree with you. There's something off with him. So that's why I was saying when he was asking me about what do you do with Ortega now, you let Ortega rest and heal himself and figure out whatever's going on with him, and then when we feel that he's right, we'll talk about a fight again.
For sure. Last one for me. I know we're less than 3 months out from No UFC, and I know you guys had a lot on your plate this week, but is there a timeline when we can expect an announcement for the main event and all that stuff for that?
Yeah, so today was a big day because our board of directors and a bunch of other people flew out today and wanted to see where the fuck all this money was going. So I walked everybody through the, I have this, you know how I am with these rooms, you know. I have to see things on a wall, and I have to, you can't just talk to me and I can't do it in my head. Like these guys will call me up, fucking Sean, Mick, and Hunter call me up and say, all right, we want to move this fight, we want to do this side. Stop talking to me. I'll see you in the war room. I go in the war room, I look at it, I can see it. So I built this whole room out that walks you through exactly what's gonna happen at the Sphere. So I walked everybody through it today. I mean, our board of directors and all the other guys that came in were just fucking blown away, and everybody's so pumped about this thing. I don't know what the hell you asked me, but the fights will be announced soon. Is that what you asked me? Yeah. We'll announce the fight soon, because there's a lot of production that has to start like tomorrow on this thing. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be the most incredible fucking thing that anybody has ever seen in sports.
Dana, in the Sphere, it's going to be right here.
Hey?
In the Sphere, it's going to be incredible. How do you make it incredible for the people watching on pay-per-view?
Boom, great question, my brother. So, normally when we do a fight, we have a truck, you know, there's gonna be 4 trucks for this event. There's gonna be 4 trucks. And we have assembled like literally the most rock star team on the planet. When I eventually get you guys in and walk you through what we're doing, I mean, the amount of Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, the list goes on, that the team that we've assembled to pull this thing off. But there will be a director who will just be filming the inside of the Sphere to make people at home feel like they're there. What we're gonna attempt to pull off, I told you a million times, you're like, oh, he's always fucking, I'm telling you right now, this will never, ever be replicated. Nobody will ever do this again. It won't make sense for anybody. It's just too much money. This will be one of the greatest things you've ever seen live, and we're going to try to pull off one of the greatest things you've ever seen on TV too.
Awesome. Just one question for me, one more. Ian Gary said that you guys offered him Colby Covington. Is that true?
Well, he was screaming at us through the octagon, I want Colby Covington next.
Did Colby reject the fight before? Did he give you a reason at all? Or
Colby doesn't reject fights. Colby will fight.
Thanks.
Yep.
Dana, just one right here in the back.
So speaking of short notice fights and everything like that, your production team coming down to the wire with everything going on. I know you're always hot crazy. What did you make of everything going on today?
I got the best team in all of sports, man. I'm telling you. We had to. Hunter, what time do you think we did the weigh-ins? Yeah. 6:30. We did the weigh-ins at 6:30 tonight. So we had to do the weigh-ins. They had to edit, they had to cut, you know, had to build, you know, come up with this whole promo. They didn't even know. We told them like maybe 20 minutes before that. So these guys are ridiculously badass. Our production team is the best in the world.
I also want to follow up one quick thing. You were talking to Kevin earlier about the weight classes and everything. Do you feel like Diego's and just this co-main as a whole, that kind of, in a way, just looking at 165, would you ever be open to that idea still of trying to open up a 165 division, or not really?
Never ever. Not while I'm here.
Dana,
Yeah.
right back here. Dana, International Fight Week, obviously all week. You had the convention, you also had the Hall of Fame. How happy are you with what you were able to bring to the fans leading up to fight night in terms of the festivities?
Am I happy about it?
Or just how do you feel about everything came together and what you were able to bring to the fans? And can you tease something new in the years to come to improve it?
Well, that's what International Fight Week is, and every year we try to bring something different and new. I thought what was cool this year is the deal that we did with Tops, and me and Ruben went out there, and you know, Ruben was giving all those cards away. I mean, some of those groups of cards are worth $4,000, $5,000, and they were literally, we did this, you know, opening, and he gives those cards away. I love that, and lots of other things that we tried. And yeah, and Power Slap. We went to Power Slap last night. It was fucking awesome. We had an unbelievable night last night with Power Slap, and the answer is yes. love International Fight Week and always trying to come up with new fun things for the fans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, perhaps it's very premature to ask this, but Ecuador, I'm from Ecuador, and all the Ecuadorians would like to know if we can be able to see Michael Morales on the Sphere on September.
What's the question?
We can see Michael Morales at the Sphere. He's from Ecuador.
Oh, we haven't announced the card yet, sir.
This event would be like the best of the all events again in UFC.
What's he asking
Do you
me?
think it's going to be one of the best events for UFC at the Sphere?
Is what?
Do you think the Sphere is going to be the best event for the UFC?
Oh, well, first of all, I will tell you this about the Sphere. It will be the biggest gate of all time, number one. Number two, it won't be the greatest UFC event of all. It'll be the greatest sporting event of all time. This is gonna. Did any of you see U2? Has anybody gone there and seen U2? Okay, very few of you. Did any of you see the other thing? The other, what is that? Life, or whatever the hell that thing is. So and what was your opinion? What did you think? So what's crazy is, I don't want to tell too much because we got a documentary coming out that you guys got to watch, but Tom Brady called me and said, you want to go to U2 with me? I said, when is it? He said, this weekend. I said, I'm in. I went to U2 and I watched the show. And halfway through the show, I was like, holy shit, this is incredible. And immediately I realized that U2 was not the star of the show. The Sphere is the star of the show. And what they had done was cool and whatever. We are going to take this thing to a level that it's just, and I've told you about my what I think of Mexican people, right? One of the baddest human beings that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Mexican people are very tough, durable people that work hard. You know, they support each other and very loyal to other Mexican people. They'll work hard all week and spend their entire paycheck to support other Mexican people. And this show is literally going to be a love letter to the people of Mexico. Their history, their heritage, their toughness, their durability, and their future. I'm telling you, bless you, sir. It's going to be awesome. I'm really, really, really pumped up and excited about this, so, if you can't tell.
Real quick, Dana, I assume you were too busy the last couple of days to see the NHL draft at the Sphere, but
Yes, I was.
Did you get any feedback maybe from what they were able to do from your team of what they saw?
What I did see was how they did the, you know, the rankings went all, or the draft thing went all the way up. That's gonna be like fucking kids playing with crayons compared to what we're gonna do. Literally, kids playing with crayons. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
With Alex Pereira, can you just talk about him bringing life back to the light heavyweight division? It's always been the glamour division of the UFC. Gio, Chuck, John Jones. Then after John Jones, it was just for a little bit, and now he's brought life back to it.
Well, that's rude. Yes, you're right. He has, and that's why, you know, everybody wants to see him jump to heavyweight so fast. I want to see him fight some more guys in that division. So, yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, he sure has.
Can you, when Myra Benasilva ran over to you after her fight, what was she saying to you?
She was spraying blood all over me and R.A. Emanuel. I had blood on my face, on my head, on my suit, in my mouth. She said, can I jump out of the octagon? And I fucked up and said yes. I should have said, I'll talk to you in a little while. But she, you know what she was saying. She's tough. She's like, this is bullshit. You shouldn't have stopped this fight. And I said, no, this was a good stoppage. You have a nasty cut on your forehead and you're bleeding all over us.
And my final question, it's a little older news, but you know, you've been around fighting for a long, long time. What were your thoughts on Ryan Garcia? He was acting crazy up until the fight, and everyone's like, he's not fit to fight. Then he says he was faking the fight. Goes out there, beats Devin Haney, tested positive. What were your thoughts on this whole fiasco?
Well, first of all, none of that is any of my business. You know what I mean? It's not my card. It's not my whatever. But I think that with all, you know, I hate talking about drug testing, but with all of our knowledge that we have in the years that we've been drug testing, we believe the people who handle the drug testing that he had tainted, he took a tainted supplement, and that he did not cheat. You know, if he had the right people around him and had the right, you know, that wouldn't have happened. We're pretty confident it was a tainted supplement. I got no skin in this game. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's not my fight. It's not none of my business, and not my place to even talk about it. But from what my team tells me, and these guys are the fucking best, tainted supplement.
And right here in the front.
Yep.
You're right here. We've talked about strikers over the years. Anderson Silva is one of the most decorated strikers. Israel Adesanya. Is Alex Pereira now the best striker that you have ever seen in the octagon?
That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I mean, I have to, you know, Shogun Hua. I mean, there's so many guys that have been here, but there's no doubt about it. Like that gentleman just said, he brought back excitement and, you know, energy to the light heavyweight division, and he's a bad boy, man. Kicks, punches, the way he his defense, the way he blocks punches, he's definitely up there.
One more for me. In terms of meteoric rises, have you ever seen somebody ascend as fast as Alex Pereira? Like, we saw how quickly Conor McGregor moved up, but I think this is even faster.
Yeah, no, we have. Israel too. I mean, you got to give it to Israel, especially these guys that came from, you know, one-dimensional sports, and then they're able to come here and compete like they have. It's very impressive. But he's definitely one of the fastest. I mean, that actually might be a stat, right? Isn't he like, is he the fastest? Fastest double champ ever. So, the answer is yes. What the fuck I was just babbling about before that. Yeah, the answer is yes.
In less than 3 years, Alex Pereira's got 8 wins, you know, titles in 2 different weight classes. Do you think he's the face of MMA?
Yeah, listen, you saw it tonight. What happens when he walks in? I think, I told you, what did I tell you? 3rd and 4th highest gates are him. Yeah, 3rd and 4th highest gates are him. So, you know, I don't know if he's the face, but he's definitely one of the biggest stars in the sport.
What were you talking to Dan and Lopes about through the fence after their fight?
I was talking about
to Dan. And
when I went up there, no, I just told them thank you, and you know, we respect you guys so much, and you know, when guys do what these guys did, it's like you look at the people who've stepped up in the last three events or whatever it is. Look at Whitaker. I mean, Whitaker just went through this same exact thing, and I said the night of the press conference, I don't care what you try to say. I don't know what anybody's going to say about that. Fucking Alice Karoff is a bad dude, man, and to have that switched out, and especially where he was sitting in the rankings, Whitaker, for him to accept that fight and take it, it's a different day and age, man. These guys are all built different than back in the day. And you have to give a lot of credit to the coaches. I mean, I don't know if you remember back in the fucking day when those guys wouldn't let John Jones fight fucking Chael Sonnen on short notice. Thank God those fucking days are gone, okay? That's the silliest thing I've ever seen in the history of the sport. So I got to give a lot of credit to the camps and the coaches.
And changing pace a little bit, Callum Walsh, the Irish boxer, he's been around the fight week. Did you see his fight earlier this month?
Who'd you say?
Callum Walsh.
Oh yeah. I love Callum Walsh. Yeah, Callum Walsh has been like a fun project for me, man. I love the kid. You know, Freddie Roach really believes in him, and
last year
we're gonna do a fight with him in Ireland.
Last year, he told me that he would be 1 year away from a world title shot. Do you still think he's coming?
We're gonna do a big fight with him in Ireland
for a world title.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a world title. I don't know what the title is.
Yeah.
This is Tom Loeffler is his promoter.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm doing this for fun because I like the kid and I like boxing, and I have no skin in the game other than I like the kid and I'm having fun helping him build a career.
Tom told me that he likes a fight with Xander Zayas. He's represented by Bob Arum. Do you think you'd be able to work with Bob for a fight like that?
He's such a dick. I don't know. I don't want to, but I guess if it was good for Callum, I guess we could try to figure it out. Can you imagine trying to work with fucking Bob Arum? You know what I mean? Look at all the shit that this guy has said. Even through COVID, Dana White is what did he call me? A guy with flawed intelligence. And yeah, you're a real fucking genius, buddy. You've done a lot of great things with this sport. The guy basically had him and Don King that ran the sport for all those years. And what the fuck did he do? And where's he at now? What's his company worth? What's, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're a real fucking genius talking about people with flawed intelligence. Yeah, me and Bob Aaron probably wouldn't work together.
Thanks, Dana. Congrats tonight.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Dana in the back,
Yep.
middle, right straight down in the middle.
Hi.
With as fast as the business is moving, you've got productions all around the world now. Is the business at a place where fighters really have to just always be ready? It's not just when your fight is coming up, because things seem to fall out all around the world. And so do you need fighters to understand that now?
Well, you're either that guy or you're not. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, everybody on the roster needs to be ready and needs to go. You're either built that way or you're not built that way. And that's what I was just talking about a second ago. We got a new generation of guys here that now get it and are willing to step up and take opportunities. I say it all the time. This isn't a job, this is an opportunity. And like Dan Ige. Dan Ige was fighting here on the 20th, and he slid in tonight as the co-main event on International Fight Week, lost the fight, basically got a standing ovation in the place, right, for losing the fight, and that's what people respect. Those are the type of fighters that people like. You're either that guy or you're not, though. There's plenty of people I can rattle off right now that are not those guys, you know, but there's plenty of people we could that are.
Dana, last December you took, right here in the middle, last December you took the fight night to Austin, and you said your staff wanted to go somewhere else. When will you be coming to Minneapolis?
That's a good question. Soon. Minneapolis wants us. You know, they wanted us to go for that event, and my staff loves the people up there that work at the arena. So soon, we'll start hitting a lot of places now that we haven't been in a while. Places like first of all, Minneapolis is one of the funnest cities that I've ever been to. Number one. Number two, we're gonna get back up to Seattle. We haven't been there in a while. We gotta hit some of these places in Canada that we haven't been in a while. You know, we got a lot of options. I don't have an answer for you, sir, but someday.
Yeah, just one more right here.
Yep.
You mentioned Alex staying at light heavyweight for his next fight. You look at the rankings. Number 1, Prohajka beat twice. Number 3, Jamal Hill, he beat him. Number 4, Blachowicz, he beat him. Rakic, 5, coming off loss. Hit number 2, Magman Nikolaev, who's unbeaten in 12 straight. Get his title shot now?
I don't know. We'll see.
Alex said before the event he wanted to fight him so he could prove that he has wrestling.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah.
And just last one, all 5 finishes tonight were knockouts. Should people shut up about the new gloves?
Hey, let me tell you what. Me and him were looking at each other. These gloves fucked up. Believe me, we were saying the same thing. You guys had us wondering too. So then, when he knocked Erie down the first time, I looked at him and I said, I guess it ain't the gloves. And then he goes, I don't think it matters what he's fucking wearing. So that might be true. I don't know. I think it's just a coincidence. Hopefully. Yeah? Happy 4th of July, everybody. Have a great weekend.
We got a few more interviews coming up. Plug a power source in, shake it a little bit. There we go.
Well, Diego, this run that you have with 4 straight wins is very incredible. I'm curious where this one ranks. It's not a first-round finish like the others, but there was so much around it. Where does this one rank among your UFC wins?
Primero de todo, la racha que tuviste ahora son 4 victorias consecutivas. ¿En qué posición del ranking tu victoria pones? Obviamente no fue una finalización, no fue un knockout, pero ¿dónde la pones?
For Fish, I told you yesterday, anyone, anytime, anywhere, and we'll fight every time. No problem. Yo creo que com o que acaba de suceder pues, nas últimas 48 horas, eu creo que necesito um pouco mais de respeito ao usar meu nome agora, não? Então, eu creo que estou listo pues, para tomar uma pelea contra qualquer de top 5.
I think with everything that happened in the last 48 hours, I think people need to put some respect to my name. I think I'm ready to fight anyone in the top 5.
You had like 3 hours to prepare for it, so how did the fight play out versus your expectations? And was Dan maybe even tougher than you expected to be stepping in so late?
O sea, tuviste 3 horas básicamente para preparar la pelea. ¿Cómo fue la pelea en relación a tus expectativas cuando subiste de eso? Porque y Dengue fue más peligroso y más duro de que lo se esperaba.
Pues definitivamente, ¿no? Nosotros estábamos preparados para pelear com alguém que era um grappler, não? Alguém que tinha as mãos pesadas, pero na mesma potência que tinha Danhig, não? Então, quando nos disseram que a peleia ia ser com Danhig, a primeira coisa que me coach isso foi agarrar o telefone, mirar as peleas de Danhig e tratar de fazer um plano de pelea pues, em menos de 2 horas, não? Que era o que tínhamos. Então, sabíamos que era muito perigoso, tivemos que pelear completamente diferente do que estamos acostumados nós outros, porque sabíamos do perigo que precisava Danhig.
Of course, I mean, it was a big change. We're fighting a guy who's an amazing grappler that also's got a heavy hand, but not as heavy as the guy that we would put on to fight. We're talking about this guy who's explosive, who's aggressive, who can knock you out. So what did my coaches do? Within those 2-3 hours, they basically started watching all of his fights, and they started taking care of that plan. So they started planning for that. This is what we did. We had to plan for a different way to fight a fighter that has different features than the other one that we had before, and we're able to put that plan in within 3 hours.
Pretty incredible. Last thing for me, I mean, you've definitely shown you're anybody, anywhere, anytime kind of guy, but you also said, hey, now I'm up the top 5 of the division. Would your willingness to take chances like this and changes like this change as you're at the top of the division, or is this just who Diego Lopes is as a fighter?
Acabas de decir que eres un peleador que va a pelear contra quien sea, cuando sea, donde sea, y que ahora está listo para pelear contra alguien de top 5. O sea, no importan los cambios, eso es quien Diego López es.
Pues sí, siempre ha sido así. Yo creo que mi vida siempre ha sido hecha de oportunidades, ¿no? Entonces, yo creo que desde mi primera pelea, cuando la acepté con 5 días, haciendo 2 días de viaje pues, para llegar para pelear, pues yo he demostrado que soy capaz, ¿no? Entonces, lo que pasó ahorita, nada me asustó, nada movió con mi cabeza, simplemente senté con mi equipo, tengo pues mi mejor equipo de trabajo y pues bueno, llegamos a la conclusión que pues, nosotros estamos listos para pelear a cualquier circunstancia.
You know, this is what my life has been. My life has been about windows of opportunities. It happened. Look at my first fight, my debut in UFC. It was basically had 2 days traveling to on a 5-day notice to fight. I have a great team to work with. What we did was like basically would sit down and we found out with this team that this was a great opportunity and we're ready for the fight and we're going to take it on.
Diego, to your left over here. Diego, to your left. Just curious, when they talked to you about the fight, did you ever think of saying, "Hey, Ige, I'll take it if it's 5 rounds"?
Una pregunta. Por algún acaso, en algún momento, cuando le dijeron, bueno, va a ser de Nidio, que dame 5 saltos.
Just a joke.
A ver, pero un chiste. No pensaste en eso, ¿no?
No, pues como dije, ¿no? O sea, a la hora que sea, contra quien sea, peso que sea, y podemos decir también ahora, pues, cultural que sea, ¿no? Yo estoy listo para pelear.
And look, it's just like I said, anywhere, anytime, any place, and as many rounds as you need.
How long do you think this is going to follow you, right? Because what you've done, you've had those great finishes in your last 2 fights in the first round. Then you come back and you do this where all these changes, Brian Ortega on 2 weeks, the wait Friday morning, then doing this today. Do you think the rest of your career, this is going to change the rest of your career because of what you did tonight and this week?
¿Cuánto crees que lo que hiciste ahora, este reto, y en verdad ese logro que tuviste, o sea, cambio de oponente, hacia ahora de Ortega, cambio de peso, ahora cambio de oponente y de peso, y en el mismo día? ¿Cuánto crees que eso te va a seguir en tu carrera? O sea, ¿crees que te vas a continuar, pero ¿cuánto crees que este logro que tuviste hoy va a estar contigo?
Pues yo creo que por mucho tiempo, ¿no? Igual pues yo creo que he demostrado también que puedo tomar buenas peleas si necesito 155 más adelante, entonces yo creo que tengo la capacidad pues para seguir haciendo cosas como estas, ¿no? Entonces pues solo eso es llamarme que yo estoy listo.
I think for a long time because I actually showed people that I'm able to actually take on some good fights at 155. So maybe at one point in my career. But what I showed is if the UFC calls, I'll be ready.
And just curious what the conversation you had with Dana and the Octagon when the fight was over. I saw he was very complimentary of you and you guys had a nice conversation. What was that like?
Un poco curioso para saber cómo fue la charla con el jefe y cuando hablaste con Dana, cuando habló contigo del octágono. Si es que te dijo, me parecía que estaba hablando buenas cosas de ti, ¿puedes comentar en eso?
Sí, claro, la verdad es que se acercó conmigo, pues habló buenas cosas, dijo que lo que acabo de hacer pues era algo imposible que pueda repetir, ¿no? Y que yo hice mi trabajo ahí arriba, hice mi trabajo en decir sí en todas las circunstancias pues que aparecieron, ¿no? Cambio de peso era 145, yo dije que sí con 2 semanas, cambiar a 155, 5 horas para el pesaje, yo dije que sí. Cambiaron el oponente, otra vez la pelea a 165, yo dije que sí, entonces él me dijo que por esas cosas hizo un buen trabajo y ellos van a hacer el trabajo de ellos afuera.
Yes, I mean, he was very complimentary in a sense that he said this is kind of impossible. What you did to this here was impossible to replicate. But look at what you did. All of a sudden, we changed the opponent on you, and all of a sudden, you make weight, and you still say, no, you didn't make weight. I'll fight him, though. It doesn't matter. So we changed it to 155, and then you changed the opponent and the weight on one day, and all I did was say yes. So basically, he said, listen, you have done your work. All we've asked of you, you've done it, and we're going to work for you as well.
Dana in front of her. This is just a quick one. Is there any animosity or ill will towards Brian or frustration, considering he changed the weight class so close and then he pulled out of the fight so close to the fight, or are you understanding of what he was going through?
¿Te queda una especie de bronca con Brian Ortega por el hecho de que primero de todo cambió el peso, después no pelea? ¿Queda algo, un gusto tal vez un poco amargo de la situación o piensas, bueno, eso pasa, lo entiendo?
No, pues la verdad es que no, nada más que respeto pues para Brian, pues por tratar de dar el peso en 145, ya nosotros internamente pues platicamos con unas personas y dijeron que él trató hasta el último de dar peso, pero felizmente no pudo. Espero que esté bien de salud, que pueda volver a pelear pronto, así que pues ningún resentimiento.
No, not at all. All the respect for Brian. First of all, we actually had information from the camp whenever that happened that he actually tried for the last minute to make weight. And I understand that he wasn't able to make it to this fight, and it's actually, I hope he's good in health, and I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Diego over here. Is the plan to get the fight rebooked with Brian Ortega?
Ortega, or because all this happened, are you looking maybe at another opponent now?
El plan entonces es que básicamente lo hagan de nuevo contra Brian Ortega o llegó la hora de otro reto.
Pues si UFC puede programar la pelea con Ortega, pues yo estoy contento, ¿no? La verdad es que estoy muy contento. Si puede programar para la esfera, pues yo estoy muy feliz con eso.
If the UFC can actually reschedule that fight against Brian Ortega, I'll be very happy. If they can reschedule that for the sphere, even happier.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard, Dana confirmed at the press conference just here that you will be fighting at the Sphere if you want to. He says you can fight in the card.
O sea, no sabes si han escuchado, pero Dana ha confirmado para toda la gente acá, vas a pelear en la esfera, o sea, espero que estés feliz.
Ok, estoy feliz, entonces que me ponga aquí ser el top 5.
Yes, I'm happy, and put me on the top 5.
¿Qué tal, Diego? ¿Cómo estás? Buenas noches. Bueno, justamente se mencionaba que esta semana va a haber una reunión en UFC. ¿Tú qué quieres que pase en esa reunión? Si el tema, bueno, confirmado ya lo de la esfera, si el tema del oponente o qué es lo que quieres tú que pase en esta reunión de UFC.
It was actually mentioned here that there's going to be a meeting in the UFC this week, obviously confirmed it with Sphere, maybe talking about possible opponents. What would you want for this to happen in this meeting this week?
Pues espero que, bueno, como ya con la noticia que voy a pelear la esfera, ¿no? Espero que ellos puedan conseguir un oponente, voy a mencionar a alguien que sea del top 5 y que quiera pelear, pues yo estoy listo, no tengo ningún problema. Si ellos están incluyendo mi nombre en eso, puedo esperar cosas grandes.
Of course, as with this confirmation that I'm fighting in this year, very happy, and if we can fight anybody in the top 5, that's one. But don't worry, I'll be ready, and with me, you can always expect great things.
También pudimos, observar un poco, no sé si era cuestión del estrés o algo que sucedía en la parte de acá atrás del cuello, si tenías algún inconveniente el día de hoy.
I don't know if it was stress or the situation that happened. We noticed that you had something happening around the neck there. Was anything going on today?
No, es algo que básicamente pasa en todas las peleas. Bueno, yo tengo una cicatriz en el cuello de que cuando era niño estaba jugando y se me clavó un fierro, me quedé como colgado en un fierro en el cuello. Desde entonces eso me da como un poco de confusión. Si la gente puede analizar mis peleas, casi todas las peleas me estoy tocando el cuello. No es nada de más, simplemente es como, podemos decir, un tique que tengo ya desde hace mucho.
No, this goes back a long way. Actually, when I was a kid, I fell once and I actually got caught in some steel stuff. Like I was actually just caught there and I couldn't get out. So I have a scar here. This kind of goes back a long time. It's always been there. So during my fights, it starts itching a little bit. So I just kind of like touch it. So it's a tick that I have. So it's no problem. But it always happens in my fights.
Diego, una hora aquí rápido. El año pasado en mayo hiciste tu debut contra Monster IWF. Un año después ahora estás de la coestelar en International Fight Week. ¿Cuál ha sido tu favorita parte de este último año lo que has tenido como peleador de la UFC?
You think about this year, you make your debut, short notice, May last year, Newark against Mozart. Here you are, just over a year later, International Fight Week, co-main, great fight. What was your favorite moment of this entire journey?
Mi momento favorito ha sido las últimas 48 horas. Ha sido algo muy loco, ¿no? Yo creo que ha sido algo de película y definitivamente es algo que voy a recordar para toda la vida.
I think my favorite moment has been in the last 48 hours. It's been crazy, something out of a movie, and it's something that I'll certainly remember from my entire life.
¿Qué sientes cuando haces la entrada aquí en el T-Mobile Arena y todo el mundo está gritando Diego Lopes y te están apoyando? ¿Tú te imaginaste que algún día va a pasar esto?
What do you feel when you get into and walk out on T-Mobile Arena and everyone's yelling your name and supporting you and cheering you on? Did you ever think in your life that this was going to happen and it was going to be this way?
Siempre ha sido mi objetivo, ¿no? Siempre ha sido mi objetivo, pero no pensé que fuera a pasar tan rápido. Pero yo creo que como está sucediendo las cosas en mi carrera, la gente se está agarrando ese cariño, ¿no? Entonces yo solo estoy disfrutando y alimentándome más que pueda y disfrutando cada momento.
This has always been the goal in my career. That's what I've always wanted. I never knew it was going to be this quick, but I think because of everything that's been happening, people are just, giving me all this love, recognizing you, just sending all this love, and I'm just enjoying this moment right now.
Okay, what's the plan for the hair?
¿Cuáles son los planes para tu pelo?
Igual, no hay planes, nada más retocado cada que sea posible y listo.
Same, and no plans. Just getting a haircut once in a while. That's it.
Diego over here. Dana says that Mexicans fight. I know that you're not Mexican, you're Brazilian, but he says that Mexicans fight with a certain ferocity. You living in Mexico, do you feel like you're a Brazilian that fights like a Mexican?
Dana dijo cuando estaba acá que los mexicanos son bravos, que son fuertes, que pelean feroz. Brasileño, pero sabemos que vives en México. ¿Crees que porque está viviendo en México ahora te pusiste así?
No porque vivo en México, pero sí por mi coach Francisco Gracia que está ahí atrás. Él me ha enseñado a pelear así como pelean los mexicanos, ¿no? Yo he visto, me ha enseñado por sus videos de cuando peleaba, me ha implementado ese chip en la cabeza de que tengo que pelear con un mexicano, a pesar de no ser mexicano de sangre, pero mexicano de corazón. Todo eso es gracias a mi coach Francisco Gracia por haber implementado ese chip en mi cabeza, de pelear siempre como un mexicano.
Not for actually living in Mexico, but because of my coach Francisco Grasso back there. I mean, he has taught me how to fight like a Mexican. He's put on the chip in my head to fight like a Mexican. So he showed me videos back when he was fighting, and I've seen this, and I think he's just gotten that, and it's ingrained right now. The chip in my head that even though I was born in Brazil, I do fight like a Mexican.
Gracias.
Diego, how did you first come to Mexico to work with Lobo Gym? Can you tell us the origin of that story?
Diego, ¿cómo llegaste primeramente a México y cuando empezaste a trabajar con la gente de Lobo Gym? ¿Puedes pasar un poquito de esa historia?
Sí, puedo resumir rápido. Yo llegué a México en 2015, empecé a dar clases de Jiu-Jitsu, después de un tiempo abrí mi gimnasio. De ahí conocimos a Francisco y su equipo Lobo Gym en un evento en Ciudad de México. De ahí me invitaron a hacer un seminario con ellos. Ese seminario, nuestro coach Francisco dejó la invitación abierta de cuando quisiera regresar, podría regresar con ellos. Y en 2018, después de una pelea que tuve en Rusia, lo llamé y dije, ¿sabes qué? Necesito ayuda, necesito que me ayude con mis manos. Y hemos trabajado desde entonces. Yo creo que hemos tenido muy buenos resultados, tanto en la parte del striking como en la parte de jiu-jitsu con nuestras compañeras Irene y Alexa.
So let me summarize it for you. 2015, I come into Mexico and I started giving classes, and I had my own gym. And we had a seminar together, and I was able actually to work. And I saw Francisco there, and we worked with the teams together. And he basically left the door open to say, hey, whatever you need, we're there, let's work together. And then I went to fight in Russia, and when I came back, I said, listen, I need some help with my hands. And I think we've been able to do a great job together. And I think that not just myself with my hands, but also the job that we've done with the grappling and the jiu-jitsu, and also with our striking, not just myself, but also our teammates, wrestling. And well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
not bad. Chama.
Lex, congratulations on your victory. Even more dominant this time than the first time around. I'm sure you'll want to go back and watch the fight, but as you sit there now, what are your thoughts on your performance tonight?
Bom, Alex, parabéns pela sua vitória. Ou dessa vez até do modo muito mais dominante do que a primeira. Tenho certeza que você vai voltar. Você já não voltou a assistir, o que você está dizendo pra gente?
Ainda não assisti, mas eu vi muito o que eu fiz ali em cima. Acho que consegui obedecer bem a estratégia. Como falei, estava treinando. Claro que foi algo em 2 semanas, né? Não seria a situação perfeita ali para fazer essa luta, mas eu aproveitei a oportunidade e vocês viram o que aconteceu. Como eu falei ontem, né, em algumas entrevistas, Muitas pessoas questionavam se eu ia estar pronto, né? Se eu ia estar bem preparado, bem treinado. Muitas pessoas viam ali, fazendo meu trabalho, andando com os carros e algumas pessoas não estavam acreditando. E ontem eu falei assim, no sábado não tem como esconder isso. No sábado a gente vai provar para ver quem está mais preparado. E eu provei isso.
Well, as I said, I was training, I stuck with my strategy. When this fight got over 2 weeks ago, many doubted, many people say that it was not the right choice to take the fight. But I saw an opportunity. I'm trying hard to prepare for this. I stuck with the strategy. Yes, people saw me driving supercars in Australia. They were talking all kinds of stuff. Yesterday I say, if I was not trained, if I'm not trained, tomorrow in the fight, it's gonna show. And that's all.
It seemed like a lot of the weapons that worked in the first fight worked tonight as well. Did you sense any adjustments from Yuri at all, or were there any surprises in there this evening?
Parece que a maioria de suas armas da última luta funcionaram hoje. Você viu alguma diferença no Yuri, alguma estratégia nova dele?
Bom, sinceramente não. Eu acho que, como eu falei, eu estou num processo de evolução, eu sou novo na MMA, ele é um cara mais velho, então eu acho que ele evoluiu muito, e hoje a evolução dele é mínima, e a minha ainda, é só o começo.
No, nothing new. On my end, I think I'm still in the process of evolution of MMA. I keep evolving a lot. He's a guy that is older, been training for longer, so he probably evolved a lot back to the base, but not now.
A little bit of confusion at the end of round one. You dropped him. It was so loud, most people couldn't hear the bell. Did you think the fight was over at the end of round one, or did you know that it was going to the second round?
Pouquinho de confusão no final do primeiro round, você jogou aquele cruzado nele, ele caiu, o pessoal não sabia se entrava porque a luta parou, entrava porque o round acabou. O que você sentiu ali?
Não, na hora eu já vi que ele sentiu o golpe, mas tudo tem uma regra. Se ele não conseguisse levantar, não sei o que iria acontecer, acho que iria interromper a luta ali, mas acho que de uma forma correta. E, bom, quando ele levantou, eu vi que ele tinha um tempo para se recuperar e até imaginei que ele iria vir mais forte. Falei para os meus corners assim, acho que agora ele vai vir um pouco mais agressivo. Mas eu acho que ele até tentou, mas já de início ele tentou manter a calma ali. Os golpes ali dele estavam um pouco lentos, chutes, e eu, em algum momento eu até pensei, acho que ele está se poupando para não cansar, mas eu, como eu falei, estou bem preparado, aproveitei bem a oportunidade.
No, man, for everything have its rules. One of the rules over there, he had to get up on his feet, so he was able to get up. I was not going to be the one contesting. On the break, I told my coach, I said, I think he's going to go full blast right now. Let's see how he's going to stay. I got to stay composed. In the beginning, I actually thought that he was holding back a little bit. But I was able to connect my shots. You know what I mean? Like I said one more time, I was well prepared to take the opportunity.
And the high kick that you landed, did you come off the stool in the second knowing you were going to throw that, or was it just something you saw at the moment?
O chute na cabeça, entre o segundo e o primeiro round, você já foi pro segundo round pensando em chutar na cabeça?
Desde no vestiário eu já tinha isso em mente, Ele estava conversando com o Plínio, ele estava mostrando ali o aquecimento dele e eu vi ele simulando, na hora de tomar esse chute nas pernas. Estava saindo ali, mas até comentei com o Plínio, eu falei, o tempo é diferente, não sei se ele vai conseguir sair, até consegui chutar ele bem ali, mas eu também falei com o Plínio que ele está muito preocupado com o chute nas pernas e está deixando a parte da cabeça meio exposto e dá para pegar ali. Então eu vi isso antes e foi tudo certo.
No, actually, I was in the locker room talking to Plino, my coaches, and he showed me the video of Giri warming up. And I saw that he was trying to counter-attack the calf kick, defend and counter. But I told Plino that he was doing the wrong timing. The timing was not good. So I saw that he was too focused on not taking the kick, and he was keeping his head down and leaving the head, the head exposed. So I told him, I'm going to explore the high kick.
Last thing for me, I know it's pretty clear that you'll fight anybody on the roster. If Dana and Hunter came to you and said, man, you've done so much, you tell us, what do you want next? It's your choice. What's the name you tell them?
Pô, a gente sabe que você já fez de tudo, já, mas se chegasse o Dana e o Hunter para você e falava, o que você quer fazer? Se fosse por vocês, faria o quê?
Bom, agora eu vou dar descansada, quero lutar esse ano ainda, não sei quando. Agora é isso, descansar um pouco, Vocês viram aí como foi muito corrido, uma grande responsabilidade. Descansar um pouco e voltar forte.
Nah, just want right now to take a break, rest a little bit. I saw my year so far how it's been going fast, so right now I just want to take my time and just rest up.
Alex, What does a break look like for you? How long is that?
O que tempo significa para você? Quanto tempo é isso aí?
Não sei não. Difícil responder. Vocês viram aí, né? 15 dias, não sei, mas com certeza vai ser mais demorado.
Well, I don't know, maybe that's all. 2 weeks, but this time going to be a little longer.
The only person in the top 5 of light heavyweight who you haven't already beaten or isn't coming off a loss is Magomed Ankalaev, who's unbeaten in his past 12 fights. Do you feel like he deserves a shot at the title?
A única pessoa no top 5 que não teve essa luta pelo cinturão ainda é o Ankalaev. Ele está invicto nas suas últimas 12 lutas. Você acha que ele merece uma chance?
Bom, todo mundo merece, mas eu não sou o cara para decidir. Acho que as pessoas têm que perguntar isso pro Dana White. Eu estou pronto para qualquer um.
Everybody deserves, but I'm not the guy to ask. You gotta talk to Dana White.
I did ask him, and he said if you wanted to fight him, he would give you that fight.
Ele perguntou para ele falou que o Dana falou que se você quisesse, ele faz essa.
Qualquer um.
Anybody.
And just last thing, a lot has been made about these new UFC gloves and like less knockouts in them. What did they feel like to you? I mean, I asked Dana about them. He said you could probably knock out someone in any glove, but what did they feel like to you tonight?
Pô, como é que você sentiu essa luva nova do UFC? O pessoal falando de nocaute, no nocaute, perguntaram pro Dana, falou que você com qualquer luva você nocauteia alguém, né? O que você achou dela?
Bom, para mim eu achei normal. O adversário, não sei se ele vai responder a mesma coisa.
For me, they feel normal. I don't know what my opponent's going to say.
Alex Pereira here. When you entered the octagon and they were doing the introductions, you stared at Yuri for almost 5 minutes, the two of you. And that's pretty much a whole round in the UFC. So I'm curious, what's going through your mind when you're staring through Yuri and not winking?
Bom, no primeiro, antes de começar o primeiro round, você ir pro Rasca, pararam por quase 5 minutos. O que está na sua cabeça naquele momento?
Bom, focado, né? Olhando ali, tentando fazer alguma leitura. É um cara centrado, um cara muito sério, foi um guerreiro. Mas isso me dá mais motivação, né? Para estar ali em cima e fazendo o que eu fiz.
I was focused, I was looking somebody that was focused, a warrior, just give more motivation to do what I did.
And after the fight, it looks like you were kind of pushing your toes back into place. How were they feeling, and were they dislocated or anything?
Depois da luta parece que estava empurrando o dedo de volta no lugar. Como é que eles estão sentindo? Está doendo? Está deslocado? Como é que está?
Não, com os meus dedos não aconteceu nada, nem relou nos dedos, mais sentindo uma dor no pé, no meio do pé, onde o chute acertou. Achei que tinha acontecido alguma coisa, fiquei um pouco preocupado. E geralmente depois o sangue esfria, aqui nas entrevistas a gente já começa a mancar, sentir mais dor, a dor aumentar. Mas não, ela só foi lá em cima mesmo, comecei a movimentar e agora está muito melhor, então acho que não aconteceu nada.
Nothing my toes with the top of my foot, I thought I hurt a little bit, but compared to all the fights that I had, by now I should be limping and everything, so it feels fine, I'm good.
Alex over here. After your fight, former opponent Jamal Hill went on Twitter and he said, quote, "I'll seek the next guy and then we go again. Great win, but we are not done." What is your reaction to that?
Bom, depois da sua nocaute, Jamal Hill comentou, legal, eu vejo o próximo cara, depois vejo você de novo. A gente ainda não terminou.
Tá bom.
Okay.
And obviously you've accomplished a lot in such a short amount of time inside the UFC. Whenever that day comes that you do decide to hang it up and call it a career, where do you think you will rank amongst the greatest fighters of all time?
Bom, você já conquistou muito no UFC já. No dia que chegar que você acha que você tem que pendurar as luvas, onde você se colocaria no ranking dos melhores de todos os tempos?
É difícil, né? Isso não sou eu que decido. Muitas pessoas tendem a se colocar numa posição e as pessoas que têm relevância a isso, né? Diminui as pessoas, tem outras pessoas que talvez não merecem, eles colocam o nome lá em cima. Eu vou fazer o meu trabalho, acho que está sendo um trabalho muito bem feito, muitas pessoas aí se espelhando, se inspirando em mim. Estou motivando essas pessoas, para mim é o que importa.
No, I mean, I'm not ranking myself. Like, you know, people sometimes they go and do the same, and they lose credibility with other people. People do whatever. I just like to be fighting and keeping motivating people to do the same.
Alex, back here. Was wondering, how proud are you to have been promoted to yellow belt in judo by Kayla Harrison?
Alex, queria saber quão orgulhoso você está de ter sido promovido à faixa amarela pela Kayla Harrison em judô.
Não, com certeza muito feliz. Fiz um treino com ela né? Eu já vinha fazendo essas técnicas, né, dessas quedas e pô, a experiência que ela tem, né, pô, a história que ela tem, né, eu prestei muita atenção, né, nas dicas que ela me deu e nos meus treinos isso funcionou muito, né, para quem acompanha, pô, vindo tá aqui, sabe como isso vem funcionando. Na minha luta ali, eu vi momentos para fazer isso, estava muito no automático já, tô treinando bastante, mas eu preferi não fazer, manter a calma ali, mas um dia pode sair.
No, I'm really happy, man. She did help me out. Like, she gave me some very, very useful tips. And Peter's here to witness that. He knows that I've been using that on my game. I almost used today, but just didn't found it was the right time to do it yet. But I'm definitely going to be using her judo in my next fights.
I'd like to ask you, in the last 6 months or so, Chama is just taken off. The fans want to say it to you every time they see you. They want to chant it when you walk out. What is it like to have just created this movement with that word that the fans attach to you so much?
Os últimos 6 meses, pô, Chama virou movimento, né? Todo mundo falando, todo mundo gritando, virou aí, após o momento aí, o que significa tudo isso para você?
Significa o momento?
Para você, o que significa o Chama?
Para mim significa muito, porque é uma coisa que eu vim falando e as pessoas vêm abraçando. Pô, hoje é uma marca, né? Se eu faço uma camiseta, as pessoas estão ali me apoiando, né? Dá pra ver o carinho das pessoas. E onde eu chego, pô, eles começam a gritar, então é algo meu. Então eles estão abraçando isso e pra mim está sendo muito bom.
Nah, man, I'm happy to be creating kind of this movement. I've been putting my shirts, I've been doing my stuff, and to have people support and see Chama wherever I go, wearing the shirts and wearing everything, like, it's very cool.
Alex, the first person to defeat you in MMA is competing on the Contender Series this season. Obviously, he's far away from fighting you again. So I just wanted to know what's your thoughts on him coming to the Contender Series.
A primeira pessoa a derrotar você no MMA vai estar lutando no Contender Series agora em agosto, nessa temporada, né? E lógico, muito longe de ver você novamente, de lutar com você. Mas o que você tem a falar sobre a pessoa?
Não tenho nada a falar, só vou estar aqui torcendo, espero que ele alcance aí o que eu alcancei, porque se ele alcançar, ele vai ser um cara especial, bem sucedido, e estou torcendo aqui por ele.
Ah, man, I wish him good. I hope he can achieve a lot. If he achieves so much as I did, it's going to make him somebody special and good, so I want him to achieve that too. Good luck for him.
And finally, if you were to move up to heavyweight, would you like to have like a warm-up fight, or would you like to just go straight to the title, whether it be John Jones or Tom Aspinall if John Jones retires?
Se você subisse pro pesado, você gostaria de ter uma luta para se ajustar? Ou já ia direto pro John Jones ou Aspinall se o John Jones se aposentar?
Bom, eu, como eu falei, não tenho assim muito tempo, pô, faz 37 anos agora, dia 7, então, pô, é algo que teria que ter um plano, né, algo mais planejado, né, vocês viram agora na minha categoria, foram 2 semanas aí, né, claro que eu estava treinando, como falei para vocês já, né, eu sabia o que eu podia fazer, se eu podia aceitar a luta sim ou não, né, muitas pessoas falam, pô, tá ganhando bem e tal, se fosse só pela grana, com certeza eu não teria aceito a luta, eu sei que estava bem preparado. Agora para peso pesado, pô, eu não sei, meu foco está no meu cinturão, defender o meu cinturão, e é isso.
Man, for heavyweight is something that I got to do a preparation, I got to be prepared, so I don't know. Like for an example, right now, you guys saw that I took this fight on 2 weeks' notice. For heavyweight, something that got to be more planned. So right now, I'm just focused on defending my title.
Alex, over here. What message do you have to send to Yuri Prochazka? You know, he's a live by the sword, die by the sword kind of fighter. What was the encouragement? What do you have to give to him after this loss?
Pô, que mensagem que eu tenho pro Prochazka, depois dessa, ele é um cara que vive um código, que vive, né, pela linha da espada. Vou pedir novamente para você, que mensagem você tem para ele?
Bom, a mensagem que eu tenho é que ele se recupere bem, né? Como ele falou, teve uma preparação, tem as dificuldades dele, né? E, pô, essa é a nossa profissão, o nosso trabalho, né? Vou estar aqui torcendo para ele voltar rápido, né? E com condições. E é isso. E deixar uma mensagem também para ele, falou muitas coisas aí de espiritualidade e tal, mas, cara, o Deus que eu sigo é o Deus que nos abençoa e é o mesmo que nos protege. Então, pedi muita proteção para mim, para ele, né? E eu acho que com certeza ele deve estar bem.
No, man, I wish him a well speedy recovery for everything. I wish God that he be good on his future plans. One message for him, I know he talked a lot about spirituality and just so he knows, you know what I mean, the same God that blesses us is the one that protects us, and I pray a lot for him and for me to be well after this fight.
Chama.
And that's it. The bad news? No.